Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawan ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil.
And hello, bahay ni Kuya. It's your ready nang magpakilig, pabebe girl ng Taguig, Thea Jimenez from 4 AD Management Economics. And with me today is...
You're tall, dark, na konti na lang handsome. Frustrated coding QT ng QC, Curvie Apolinar of 2 BSMIS.
Hello, Philippines, and hello, world. Kwentuhang MVP is back for 2021, and we want to wish a Happy New Year to all our fellow Ateneans out there. We hope you're all tuned in today because we are taking a deep dive into the work and projects of the Always in Service Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila, our beloved COA-M.
And pero before we get the ball rolling, Thea, no, let's inform muna our listeners kung saan nila tayo mapapakinggan or mapapanood, no? So we're coming into you loud and live from our homes by the Facebook pages of Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM, Ateneo de Manila University, and of course the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila. You can also stream us via Radyo Katipunan's YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM or through Twitter at Radyo Katipunan via Periscope. Pero di lang yan. We are also coming in via audio streams at any Shoutcast online radio station around the world. And yes, worldwide na po ang Radyo Katipunan. So just search at Radyo Katipunan at any Shoutcast online radio. We're also transmitting by the 87.9 FM frequency around the 2-kilometer radius of the Ateneo Manila campus.
All right, thank you, Kurvie. So can you believe it? We're already halfway through the school year. It felt so fast, yet so slow, ano? And given that we've already finished our first sem with the second quarter finals just last week, how are you feeling today?
Alam mo, Thea, siguro, one word lang. I feel so relaxed kasi wala ka ng requirements the next day, wala ka ng pagpupuyatan na kailangan ipasa sa kinabukasan. So, parang ang saya lang ng buhay na hihiga ka lang, manonood ka lang, di ba? What a world we live in. Ikaw, Thea.
You know, I'm just really glad that 2020 is over. Because like adjusting to online classes was really hard along with thesis pa. So buti na lang I have really good groupmates. So shout out to my friends. Hi guys. And you know, since it's my last semester of college then, I really have high hopes for this year. So I'm gonna manifest for that. And since we're celebrating the new year with this episode, do you want to share some resolutions you have for this year?
Personally kasi, I don't believe in resolutions kasi feel ko, January mo lang siya maiisip. Pero at the end of the year, makakalimutan mo na siya. Pero siguro for the sake of having a resolution, I think I should take care of myself better. Kasi for the past months, medyo nagiging puyat tayo, nagiging stress dahil sa ACADS, dahil sa requirements. So parang this break, I will start the year off by taking care of myself. Ikaw, Thea, what's your New Year's resolution?
For me, same, Kurvie. I also find it hard to stay committed to my resolutions. So I think I'm just gonna keep it general for this year by just promising to take care of myself also. Like eating healthier food, sleeping better, and really taking better care of my physical and mental well-being na din. So with that, ano naman plans mo with our month-long break bago tayo sumabak uli with online classes?
Siguro, bala kong mag-turn off lang this break. Wala akong iisipin, wala akong ipapanic na requirements or what. Magpo-focus lang ako talaga sa pagpapahinga para this next semester, kahit anong pagod, kahayanin natin. No? Ikaw naman, ano yung balak mo this almost 1 month break?
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, I want to start working on my resolutions na this break. So I think, given that naparami ang stress eating natin over the holidays with our families, Noche Buena and Media Noche, parang siguro magandang magbalik loob and go back to those days. And the beginning of the quarantine, when ang sipag pa nating lahat mag-workout, yung mga home workout videos sa YouTube na yan. So for me, mag-exercise tayo ng onti this break. At speaking of napasarap na nga masyado yung kwentuhan namin ni Kurvie. So tulad ng sarap ng kain namin last month. So now let's officially move on.
And sana lahat naka-move on na like Thea, no? Grabe. Nag-New Year lang, naka-move on ka na. Pero anyway, to recap the last episode that we had in December 11, 2020. Grabe, no? Before we continue, masasabi na nating 2020 ended. So, going back, we wrapped the SBC High Point highlights in celebration of highlighting sector-based organizations Tugon Ateneo, Ateneo Speed, and KAIST Ateneo.
That's right, Kurvie. We learned about their projects, including how they've been upholding their values and forwarding their advocacies, as well as some of the challenges that came with the latter half of the year.
And so for this episode, we're gonna recenter and we're going to highlight the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila to check in on their mid-year successes, their plans, and generally how orgs have been this last semester and what they have in store for us for the next half.
So, without further ado, let's all welcome Patricia Aquino, our COA-M President, Kichee Pinera, our COA-M Chief of Staff, and Jubelle Gordo, our Analysis and Discourse Cluster Representative. Hi guys!
Hello,
welcome
guys.
to Kwentuhang MVP, our COA-M CB base. So let's all please introduce ourselves and your cluster or talk a little bit about your position so our viewers and listeners can get a better idea of the organization itself and what you do in COA. So let's begin with our president, Aki.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Good afternoon to everyone watching. So I'm Aki. I'm the president of COA-M. And ayun, I mainly oversee the council and ako rin yung pinaka-representative ng mga accredited orgs sa Loyola schools.
All right, thanks, Madam President. Now let's hear it from Kichee.
Hi, I'm Kichee. I'm the Chief of Staff of COA-M. So my main job is to update and execute projects and initiatives that are related to personnel and welfare management for our council's constituents. So ayun, my department can be best described as the human resources arm of the council, and I have my ex-team also to help me fulfill the duties of the department.
All right, so last but not the least, Miss Jubelle.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Jubelle Gordo. I am the Formation and Development Officer of the Analysis and Discourse Cluster. So basically, my job description is I represent the 8 organizations under the ADC cluster. So that would be the ADS, Ateneo Assembly, APAIR, AUS, AIA, DevSoc, ENTA, and ASET. Shout out!
Ayan. So thank you guys for accepting our invitation. Pero before we get into the juicy and spicy office cluster or specific questions, we'd like to ask you all muna, kamusta kayo? Like, siguro 2 or 5 months na yung nagiging president kayo or chief of staff. So, nakapag-settle na ba kayo sa mga positions nyo? Na-fulfill nyo na ba yung ideas or plans nyo? So, di ba, Thea?
Yeah, that's right. So let's begin muna by asking our COA-M President Patricia Aquino and COA-M Chief of Staff Kichee Pinera about the council and how they spent their first semester. So sit back and relax ka muna, Ma'am Jubelle, and we'll call you back real soon.
And so, hi, Miss Aki and Kichee. Thank you again for sharing your time with us to share some updates about COA-M. So, we'd like to know about how the council has been doing so far and how you all plan to move forward this upcoming semester.
All right. So let's begin with none other than our president, Miss Aki. So, Miss Aki, what are the projects that COA-M had last semester and how did they go?
Yeah, so it's really been quite the semester, no? As you guys mentioned earlier, it's both very long and very short, no? And really, we've done so much last semester, and I'm really proud of not only the central board, but of course, I'm really proud of all of the orgs that we've been serving, no? Because even if we're in these circumstances, with all the resources and the limitations that we have, todo bigay pa rin sila with all of their initiatives, all of their projects. So, as for the council naman, ang dami. I think kaka-blast din namin ng wrap-up namin. So, di ba, why not just go through all of the projects that we had? So, of course, no, we started the year with Rec Week. Everyone knows. Everyone loves. And, we're happy to say now we welcomed, diba, we were able to wholeheartedly welcome around 6,000 members to our org community, both new and returning. And in that same month, we also launched itong Kwentuhang MVP. So, ayan, congrats guys at ito yung first episode nyo for the year. So of course, after that, given our limitations, we did a lot of online campaigns, most of them from the clusters, no? So we launched our guide to online learning to help the students know about yung mga rights nila, yung mga guidelines on deadlines, submissions. We also had our various cluster and council statements so that we are able to elevate not only the voices of our clusters, our members, but really the org community as a whole. And just to go into the specifics of the clusters, we had our SBC High Point highlights, as you guys covered last year. Our DC catalog, the ADC rebranding, baka kukwento yan ni Jubelle mamaya. And the IRC December Holidays campaign, which is what we ended with last year. We were also able to launch a few groups last year, mga more specialized groups. So one is Ateneo Suppliers to Pick, so abangan nyo yan. We launched it already to the officers, and hopefully we can help the org community further in being able to scout and being able to canvas more suppliers para mas optimize yung operations and projects natin. And also, we launched PM is Keys. Ang cute ng name, no? But it's really a support group for the project managers, and hopefully we also get to create those smaller communities within the greater org community we have. We also had a few workshops and seminars, something we really look forward to this year, especially since we're online. So we had our project approvals refresher workshop with OSA, and Kichee will probably touch on this, but we also had our X-Team General Assembly this year, where we welcomed all of our members. And of course, as with our thrust, tuloy pa rin yung presentation this year kahit online. So of course, the Central Assembly, we've seen a lot happening. On our end, we've also been able to put out a lot of legislations. We were able to release a bill. We were able to have that approved, and also a resolution regarding social political spaces and discourse in the org community. And of course, we also had our own participation in the weekly live sessions in the Central Assembly through me as the representative. And ayun, yung pinaka-recent namin is our participation in the technical working group for the student activism bill. So ayun, ang dami nangyayari. Parang nag-wrap tuloy ako with everything that happened. But really, it's all in the service of the org. So I'm really happy to report that.
Right. Grabe, ang dami palang nagawa ng COA this year. And actually not even a year, just only a sem. And those are all really great and wonderful projects given our situation. So just a follow-up question, Ms. Aki, bago tayo mag-move on kay Ms. Kichee. With that, how was COA-M able to adjust to the online setting?
Ayun. So, even during the start, like, kaka-elect ko lang, I've been getting questions on, like, how are we going to adjust? And I would also agree with yung mga coordinators from OSA, and I think Sir Taps also mentioned this before, but adjusting, especially in this SEM, doesn't only mean converting projects that used to be on-site to online, diba? As much as we miss being on campus, our main strategy, or really our main goal this year, or for the past semester, is to really, diba, look back kung ano yung pinaka-core ng service namin, ano yung pinaka-core ng projects namin. So that it's not just merely transitioning to online, but really reassessing ano yung advocacy namin, ano yung service namin, and how can we best proactively serve our constituents despite the circumstance.
Ayan, so let's move on now naman kay Ms. Kichee. So we all know na at the heart of every organization are its members. So tapping into what Aki said, siguro, can you describe on what is the biggest difficulty that COA-M has faced with communicating with a large number of people, and how has of your office managed this?
Okay, thank you so much, Kurvie. I'm not going to lie. It's been extremely difficult talaga to transition to an online setting especially when it comes to communicating with our constituents. So also given the fact that in the first semester alone, we've faced so many hardships. You can see that in the second quarter, I think particularly, we had a lot of obstacles that came our way, especially with the typhoon, ayon. And what we realized there is that we really needed to be inclusive when it came to trying to reach out to all of our constituents, not just within the ex-team members, but also with our orgs, and in general with all Ateneans. So what I really found interesting in that time, during the time of the typhoon, was that not a lot of people would be able to parang communicate with you whenever we do check-ins, for example, especially yung mga tao na nawalan ng Wi-Fi, nawalan ng kuryente. So how are they able to, parang answer that are based on the internet, di ba? Kung wala silang internet. So I think that's one of the biggest hurdles one of the biggest difficulties that I found when it comes to communicating. How do we try to push for a more inclusive way of communicating with other people, especially given that we are in an online setting? So with that, parang how have we managed? I think that we've been doing well. Not just COA internally, but also I can really say that most of our constituents, all of the different orgs, they've really done their best. They really went above and beyond to try to check all of their members, diba? So that's something that I really appreciated last year. Na ayun, I got to see how so many of our constituents, so many of us have tried to do our best to adjust to this situation. And that's really wonderful to see.
And so siguro expanding on the issue on inclusivity, since yun nga, internet is not that accessible to everyone, especially when everyone's online, there will come a time na internet will be really a problem. So in this online setting, how can you say that this problem in having everyone communicating at the same time, at the same medium, have changed the working dynamics within COA Manila?
Oh, so, sige, let's start with internals. Internally, I guess here in COA, for example, sa mga CB meetings, ganon, or even being able to communicate with our ex-teams, I feel that we've adjusted well, considering the situation nga. So, for example, in the central board, we try to have meetings as frequent as we can, just so we get to update each other. Of course, hindi parang nothing will change the face-to-face interactions. But it's wonderful for me to see that despite the distance that the online setting has parang done or has resulted to, yung nakikita ko naman is all of our members really do their best to get to have meaningful interactions pa rin, kahit kung online setting. So that's something that really surprised me. Yung mga internal parang communications, I've seen being able to see my CB officers get to interact with their ex-team members. Nakikita ko na they really try to forge relationships or working dynamics na that can be useful and helpful to their team. And they try to do different parang methods of trying to reach out to them. So I've seen a lot of ex-teams have their own group chats na very madaldal sila. Ayun. Nakikita ko na kahit kung hindi work-related yung pinag-uusapan, nakikita mo talaga na they're closer now. So that's something that's really nice to see. So ayun. Yung parang yung takeaway ko rito is that kahit kung online, parang hindi pa rin nawala yung sense of community na nafa-foster pa rin dito sa COA. And that's something that I really, really appreciate. So I can attribute that to all of the officers within COA as well as all of the student leaders for having the passion to try to foster that and try to hone in that culture kahit kung online, kahit kung mahirap. So they truly make the job of my office really easy, or at least easier. So ayan.
All right, thank you for that, Miss Kichee. Now, I want to ask both of you naman. Given that you two represent both external and internal perspectives of our orgs, so what were some of the challenges that the organizations faced in the last few months for Miss Aki? And for Miss Kichee naman, what were some of the challenges for your ex-teams?
So for the orgs, and this is something I really appreciate about them, no. We've really seen the orgs, again, todo bigay talaga sila. They want to, us as students, we want to do as much as possible. We want to help as much as possible, despite the limited resources, the limited time, all these limitations that we have. And that's really the greatest challenge that the orgs have faced. And it's really affected a lot of aspects of how we function as orgs, no? Project management, parang how can we, what initiatives can we do so that we can help our communities, yung mga systems and processes nila, member welfare, as Kichee mentioned earlier, no? And being able to communicate with people. And really something big we were able to see this year is orgs having that challenge, no? Or really it's an exciting challenge. I wouldn't see any of these challenges as anything negative, but that challenge of being able to amplify the voices of our members, to use our platforms, no? To talk about things that are very important to us. And I think those are really the challenges we saw this year, but I can really say na the org really finessed through it, no? True na like super difficulty talaga this year, but no, you can really see na org culture and that passion to serve is still alive pa rin until now.
Okay, so ako naman, for my ex-teams, for all of the ex-teams actually, I guess one of the biggest challenges that I got to see with the first, as the first sem went down, yung mga central board officers kasi, I could see talaga na we all had so many plans at the start of the semester, and a lot of those plans had to be compromised, or a lot of those plans needed a lot of adjustments talaga. So in a sense, nakakapanghinayang kasi nakikita mo na we really have big plans. We really want to push for some proactive service, and we wanted to do that especially with our ex teams. Pero ayun, siguro in the second quarter specifically, we had a lot of suspensions nga, diba? So that's one of the reasons, or yeah, those are one of the situations we had to deal with, wherein yung nangyari, we had to be decisive in what we could push through, or ano yung mga projects na pwede namin i-push na while still maintaining a certain standard of quality. And ako specifically, in my department, I really have a lot of I really had a lot of plans. For example, with my ex-teams ako, na parang maraming conflicting feelings na lumabas from it. Kasi, ayun, as COS, we are the human HR, diba? We are the HR department, or the HR arm of COA. So I really wanted to prioritize first being able to maintain an environment na inuuna pa rin yung sarili, inuuna pa rin yung well-being mo as a person. I know that we are all aspiring student leaders. We all want to hone the skills that we have, but at the same time, I really wanted them to focus on being able to make time for yourself first. So, ayun, I think one of the greatest challenges that we all had to face was trying to balance yung passion, trying to hone the passion that all of our ex-teams had, and at the same time trying to think of kung, like, if you do this, if you push through with this initiative, would it be too much for them? Would it result to them being burnt out? And that's something that I personally, we didn't want to have that talaga. So ayun, it was a difficult time, especially since parang we're in the birthing pains of online learning. But it's good to see ulit na we were able to push through.
Grabe, no? It's really amazing how the X teams and orgs managed to fight such a hard time. So in line with that nga, given that you two serve as the pillars of the council along with the rest of the central board, of course, what are some of the burdens that come with being a president and a chief of staff in such a unique time in our lives?
Yeah, so for me naman, as I mentioned earlier, parang I wouldn't say na burden. Burden naman, no? But definitely, I think we'll all have to admit talaga, we really met a lot of difficulties in the past year. I suppose as someone overseeing the council and representing the council, it's really been that challenge of being able to represent the best interests of the orgs. Because that's really what we want as the council that really serves all of our accredited orgs, no? How can we best serve their interests? How can we best represent all of them as much as possible, no? And that was really a challenge. But definitely a challenge I can say the rest of the CB enjoyed doing this year, kahit ang daming puyatan nights and all. But really it's all for the love of the council, no? And with all the decisions that we've made and all the projects that we've had, definitely no regrets naman. We've definitely enjoyed every step of the way, and I can also see in the orgs na the passion is still alive, the flames are still burning. And yeah, it's been a challenging sem plus intersession. So kahit ako, even in my past sems or in my past terms in the COA CV, as someone who does, or as anyone who does service in representation, we really meet those challenges in our terms. But ayun.
I really agree with Aki. I wouldn't really call it a burden talaga. There are big challenges, definitely. Pero it's not something na at the end of the day I regret doing, or it's not something that makes me regret what I am doing as a chief of staff. So, ayun, given na everything's online, siguro it's not a burden, but it really saddens me talaga na I don't get to see the people I work with face to face. Di ba, Aki? So, alala ko nga, in most of our interactions sa CB, gano'n, yung nangyayari, nag-uusap kami. Tapos, uy, ang weird, no? Lagi tayong nag-uusap, pero hindi pa tayo nag-meet in person. So, ayun, given the unique time that we're in, that's one thing that I would really want to change, sana, with the situation. Other than that, ayun, as CB officers, and in general, as student leaders, I think that the biggest challenge that we face, or that we have on our shoulders, things that we have to look out for, is the fact that not everything will really go your way. You are really submerged in a situation that isn't the best situation. It's not the best case scenario, kumbaga. So given that, you really have to try to find ways to push for your own advocacies, for your org's advocacies, while at the same time not burning yourself out, not burning yourself out talaga. So, ayun, I really hope na lahat tayo as student leaders, nandun pa rin yung balance between fighting for the things you believe in, fighting for the advocacies of your orgs, while at the same time taking care of yourself.
It's nice to hear naman na despite all the challenges this unique time has given us, as Haki have said, the flame is still burning for most of us, for siguro all of us. Pero we've been retrospecting for the past few questions, and I think in the spirit of the new year and in the spirit of looking ahead, siguro for the both of you, what could be or what are the ways COA-M is planning to pursue in the near future? So are there any plans, or are there any events that the audience and organizations could look forward to?
Yeah, so ayun, thanks for bringing that in, no? And definitely kami, as we start evaluating and planning the semester ahead, really looking forward to what we can offer the students pa, knowing now yung mga capacities and capabilities namin as COA. But definitely, no, going back to what we believe in, plug ko lang yung trust namin, no? Continue going beyond service by transcending limits and uniting in excellence. Really looking into those key terms, no? How are we able to continue providing proactive service, empowering yung org community natin? Kichee might touch on internals, and definitely that's also something we're seeing. Kasi, diba, it always starts with the foundationals, and of course expanding our touch points now that we're in an online setting, but more so in terms of representation. So diba, as we go into this new semester, diba, we'll continue pushing for these advocacies, we'll continue pushing for projects and initiatives that are not only important to us as representatives, but also more important to our orgs and how it can benefit them and help them the most.
Ayan, nasabi naman ni Aki. So, in general, yeah, we really want to push for trying to widen our touch points, trying to find ways to be more inclusive, finding ways to serve our orgs, our constituents better. For the internals, I guess, I feel that a lot of us have plans na parang I feel na magka-carry over yung hindi namin nagawa from the first quarter going to the second semester, sorry. So, ayun, I feel like a lot of training will be involved when it comes to our ex teams, especially yung mga bagong pasok. So I'm really excited for that. Other than that, we also planned, I believe we also have a lot of plans with regards to trying to engage with our orgs. So ayun, hopefully that's something that you guys have to look forward to. So ayun.
Wow, grabe. No, despite all the challenges 2020 has given us, COA-M has truly been doing a great work for the past semester, and we can't wait to see what else is in store for us for the next year. So thank you, Miss Patricia Aquino and Miss Kichee Pinera. Pero stay in the call muna kasi we'll have a short chit-chat and game later on. And thank you, guys.
Hey guys. Okay. All right. So moving forward, did you guys know that something exciting is about to happen next month?
Ano yan?
The Valentine's or Chinese New Year, guys. Hindi. So what do you guys think it is? I'll give our viewers like 5 seconds to take a guess. So magbibilang ako. Ito.
Next month?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I hope you guys and I are thinking of the same thing, because if you are, you guessed it right. It's almost ADC month, one of the most look forward to events of COA-M's ADC cluster.
And we're thrilled. We're sure na you're thrilled to know what's in store for us for the next month, no? From our analysis and discourse organization. So, what are we waiting for? Let us invite the representative of the analysis and discourse cluster, of COA Manila, Miss Jubelle Gordo, to share with us some information about their upcoming events. And hi, Jubelle.
Hi, Jubelle.
Hi.
Welcome back, Miss Jubelle. So we're so glad to have you on our show. Finally, nice to see your face back. So to begin, can you enlighten us about what ADC month is and what events or projects will be executed so that our students and organizations should look forward to?
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So siguro for a bit of a context, ADC month is basically it emphasizes the 3 pillars of ADC, namely fostering growth, withstanding challenges, and being a catalyst of change. And we hope na ma-manifest yung 3 pillars na yon through the achievements, projects, initiatives na iaarangkada namin through our 8 organizations. Our 8 organizations are ADS, the Ateneo Assembly, APER, AEOS, AEA, DevSoc, ENTA, and KSAT. So basically, it will be a social media campaign wherein we'll maximize the features of Facebook, and ayun, you'll get to know more about our constituents.
And siguro for context lang din for the viewers na hindi pa alam kung ano yung ADC month. So, how long has the ADC cluster been executing this initiative, no? And siguro, what separates this year from the other years na ine-execute yung ADC months?
Ayan, ADC month kasi is actually it's a new project with 4 years of dormancy ng ADC. Naisip ko na what better way to establish our presence and presence namin in general. Since we're in the middle of a pandemic, it would be nice to establish our online presence of the 8 constituents. So basically, yung ADC month, we've been planning it since October 2020, and it was supposed to be parang dapat initially pilinan namin siya ng December 2020. Kaso with a lot of circumstances that had happened in the year 2020, we had to push it sa year 2021. And ayun, we're actually thinking whether February 2021 or March 2021 siya i-launch. For more, we're going to post 3 posts per organization, and each post represents an organization. Ipapakita namin yung achievements nila, yung projects nila, initiatives nila. So basically, mas malalaman ng mga tao what exactly does our constituents do. So, ayun.
You know, given our situation, feeling ko hindi exception yung team mo. So, feeling ko it really brought about some challenges then to the core team of ADC month. So, can you share with us how you're managing them or have managed to surpass the...
Okay. So, what happened with us is that I think everyone can relate that it's quite difficult to gather a team right now, especially kasi hindi naman kayo like on-site na parang, uy friends, sali ka naman, ganyan. So, I think one of the challenges really is gathering a team since una sa lahat, ADC, the ADC X team, it's really an 8-man team. We're a fairly new team. So, in a sense, we're a baby team. Ayun, parang a lot of us are experiencing new challenges, new experiences, and new explorations with other rates. So, parang ang hirap makakuha ng tao. Plus the fact na we opened our application process nung end ng December and then start ng January, which were actually critical dates kasi end siya ng second quarter. So I think a lot of people were really exhausted. Medyo hingal sila. So ang ginawa namin is to extend the application process until January 23, Saturday. We're also thinking about opening the forms to the public. So something to watch out.
Ayan, speaking of something to watch out and exploring, so baka ito na yung time na baka ma-explore naman ng ibang audience natin yung ADC month. So, to help them explore ADC month, baka may gusto kang i-promote na event or i-plug na upcoming initiative ng ADC cluster.
Ayan, sa lahat po ng viewers, hello. I would like to, promote our ADC month, which will happen either on February 2021 or March 2021. We'll be exploring more of what our constituents are. But for the meantime, please do visit the pages of ADS, the Ateneo Assembly, APER, AYUS, AYA, DevStock, ENTA, and ASAC. These organizations, dito ko nakilala yung most brilliant, most passionate, most talented, and very caring student leaders. So super worth your time if you scroll into their initiatives and if you engage in their pages. So ayun lang.
Grabe, memorize ni Ma'am Jubelle yung orgs niya. Damang-dam na kayo, love niya, daming adjectives, affirmations. Mahal na mahal kayo ng rep nyo, guys. So, I really can't wait to see what this cluster has in store for the Ateneo community. So, thank you, Ms. Jubelle Gordo. We're all looking forward to next month, and we're sure it's definitely going to be a blast.
Yeah, so it's coming to here, Thea, na despite all the challenges the past year has given us, it's nice to know that the council is still doing well despite all these challenges, all these struggles. But before we end this episode, let's touch into the more personal, into the more spicy or juicy questions ng ating mga guests today. So can we call back Aki and Kichee to join Jubelle for a few more questions before we end this episode?
All right, so welcome back, Aki and Kichee, along with Jubelle. So now that we're nearing the end of our show, let's take some time naman to be senti and share some personal stories. Wow. So to keep the ball rolling and so it's fair for everyone, Kurvie and I will answer the questions first to share our chiefy and senti stories about the council. So let's begin with the question, Kurvie.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you join COA-M in the first place?
Well, okay. So, sa mga taga-subaybay namin, taga-subaybay, mapapansin nyo na halos all of the past organizations, ang common theme nila is nahatak sila ng friend nila to join an org. So, I guess most of us, yun din yung reason. Pero for me, nahatak ako ni Nina, yung isa kong close friend from coming into college. So, backstory lang. Kakatapos ko lang ng Socksai class ko nun sa Bell. Tapos naglalakad ako sa Red Brick Road. Grabe, Red Brick Road pa yung rec week nun. Wow. Ancient times. So, nung nasa dulo kasi yung COA, so nung papunta na ako sa CTC class ko, tinawag ako ni Nina, sabi niya, "Uy, Kurvie, sali ka COA," ganyan. Tapos, out of context, sumali lang ako. So, di ko alam kung ano yung pinasukan ko, anong org yun, ganun. Di ko alam na siya yung organization na nagka-handle sa lahat ng organization. So, sumali lang ako kasi nandun si Nina, ganun. So, ayun, sumali na ako. Pero, tawag dito, nag-mental block ako. Nag-excited kasi ako, guys. Grabe yung pagkaalala ko sa Red Brick Road. Parang yung color red, ganun. Pero yun, despite na nahatak lang ako, I don't regret being hatak into this organization. Wow. Ikaw naman, Thea. Ano naman yung hatak story mo?
Ito na yung hatak story ko. Parang sketchy pakinggan ng hatak. Okay. So for me, I actually joined the council on my second year pa, since in my first year of college, I was still trying to adjust to the university life after coming from a high school with a really small population. So in first year, I actually wasn't into orgs pa talaga, but one night in intercession of second year, I stumbled upon this Facebook recruitment post for Rec Week 2018 daw. And for me, parang, that sounds fun, because who doesn't want to be part of that, diba? And that's when my love story with the council began. So I applied for the core team as a promos head nun. And then eventually, hinatak na rin ako ni Enzo to be an ex-team under special projects. Tapos ayun, here I am. Kayo naman, CB Babes. How did your COA love story begin? Let's begin naman with Aki, followed by Kichee, and then Jubelle.
Ayun. So, actually, medyo same din kay, well, hindi naman. Never mind. Pero yun, I also came from a high school kasi, na parang hindi naman ganun ka invested, I'd say, in extracurriculars. Or baka kahit ako, parang hindi din ako super invested in extracurriculars. Super akads ako dati. But going into college, I really wanted to explore what I could do, especially leadership-wise, skills-wise. I wanted to do more than what I had at the moment. And at the same time, yung sister ko was actually COA CB also when I was a freshie. So, fourth year siya at the time when I was a freshie. And at the time, I really wanted to make the most out of yung 1 year namin together. Before, she moves out, goes to work. Kasi super close kami. So, that's really what made me want to join COA. And then medyo na-convince lang ako na well, for one, my couch yung room nila. Yung COA room. But anyway, more seriously, diba? Well, just seeing na parang servicing all of these orgs and really, diba, in reality, the whole community, the whole Loyola Schools community, super naging enticing siya for me. That's really, yun naman yung naging love story ko with COA. So it was both the couch, but more the service.
Okay, ako naman, actually, baliktad tayo. In high school, ganun, active kasi ako sa co-curriculars. So, ayun, nag-join ako sa mga councils, ganun. And, ayun, when I went to college, yung kapatid ko kasi, she was an Athenian who graduated around 2015, ganun. So, ayun, nung pumasok ako first year, tinanong ko yung kapatid ko, like, ano yung mga magandang orgs na pwedeng salihan, ganun. Tapos, parang, sinabi niya, feeling ko bet mo yung COA. Kasi, ayun, parang, it's kind of in line sa kung ano yung ginagawa mo nung high school ka, ganun. Tapos, talaga, sige. Tapos, ayun, parang, na-confuse ako slight. Kasi, ayun, nung Rec Week, akala ko, COA is one of the orgs under Rec Week. Gets ba? Like, hindi ko alam na COA yung, paano ba ito explain? I thought that COA was one of the 56 orgs. Yan pala, COA yung buong like representation of the 56 orgs. So ayun, parang asan yung COA? Hindi ko talaga siya mahanap. Tapos yun, nasa roof deck ako. Tapos yun, parang pagkapasok ko, kasi roof deck pa yung yung COA nung freshie ako. So, pumasok ako, tapos hinahanap ko siya. Tapos yun pala, kung saan ka papasok, yun pala mismo yung COA. Tapos parang tinanong ko, asan yung COA? Tapos, kami. Kumanan sila. Tapos parang sobrang nahiya ako. So, ayun, tinanong ko, like, okay, pwede po ba akong mag-sign up? Tapos ayun, nung tinignan ko, parang sobrang natuwa ako na the main purpose or advocacy of COA is really proactive service, and it's something that I personally really advocate for. So ayun, yun naman yung COA love story ko. Ikaw naman, Miss Jubelle.
Ayan, yung sa akin, ang layo ng mga ng kwento niyo sa akin. Yung kwento ko kasi, okay, chikahin ko na. Kasi second year din ako, second year din ako nakapasok ng COA. Pero here's the catch, hindi pa ako COA nun. Like, kasama ko ng core team, pero hindi ako COA nun. Like, literal, hindi ko alam kung ano yung pinasok ko. Ganito kasi yun, like, there was this one afternoon, nagbe-binge watch lang ako, ganyan. Tapos biglang may message ako ng friend ko, si Philip. Sabi niya, Jubelle, gawa ka nga ng floor plan. Sabi ko, floor plan? Bakit? Parang inisip ko, anong ginawa ko anong kinalaman ko sa floor plan? Eto naman ako, G na G. Di gumawa naman ako ng floor plan. Yeah, gawa ng floor plan. Sinend ko sa kanya. Tapos, sinabi niya sa akin, the next encounter naman, message niya ako, may meeting sa ganito ha. Sabi ko, may meeting sa ganito? Anong gagawin ko? So, pumunta naman ako. G na G pa rin, di ba? Alam mo naman, pagdating sa mga org, parang G na G ako, ganyan. So, punta ako dun sa may, if I remembered correctly, CTC pa nga ata yun. So, punta ako doon. Tapos, wala talaga akong kilala. Although, meron akong mga high school na, like, same high school graduate, ganyan. So, parang, okay, I see familiar faces, ganyan. Tapos, fast forward nung mismong rec week, kinuha kasi akong core team for rec week. Tapos, nung rec week na mismo, may nagtanong sa akin, Jubelle, ba't di ka kumukuha ng t-shirt? Sabi ko, t-shirt? Ako? T-shirt? May t-shirt ako? Di yun, syempre, kuha na lang ako ng t-shirt, ganyan. So, tapos, nagkaka-round, nung ano pa kasi, nung yung rec week was sa Red Brick Road, nagkaka-rounds pa noon, i-check pa kung tama yung pa-props ng mga, ng mga organizations, ganyan, eme, ganyan. So, samahan naman ako ni Endo papunta dun sa COA na tent, ganyan. Tapos nandun si Aki. Syempre, yung kaba ko, gano'n, gagano. Sabi ko, kasi hindi pa naman kami close si Aki nun, pero CV na siya nun. So, sabi ko, hala. Tapos kina-convince ako ni Aki dun. Sabi niya, same high school tayo, di ba? Sabi ko, yes. Tapos, ayun. Sabi niya, sige na, Jubelle, mag-sign up ka na for COA, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, hala, ano yung sign up ko? Anong position? Hindi ko alam kung ano ginagawa ko eh. Tapos, ayun, nag-sign up ako under special projects. Ayan. Tapos, dun sa special projects, mas na-explore ko yung world ng organizations kasi mas naging hands-on kami sa maraming bagay, mas naging exposed kami sa maraming bagay. And then after which, ayun, napunta ako sa position. So, mamaya ko na ikukwento. Good things come to those who wait.
Ayan. So, thank you guys for sharing your COA love story. Pero syempre, with every story, there's a journey towards the end. Wow. Journey. So, speaking of journey, how would you describe naman your journey in the council? That's our question, Thea, and their question then. Pero, may additional question yung kanila. What made you decide to pursue a position in the COA-M Central Board? So, why don't you start, Thea?
Okay. So, sige, ito na yung journey ko na malapit ng matapos. So for me, I have to say that this org is really special to me since, it gave me so much opportunities to grow and step out of my comfort zone talaga. So I'm really grateful for you guys and everyone I've met through COA. So I got to experience different committees and different types of projects, which really helped me how to adjust in working with different types of people. Like right now, guys, alam nyo, I never thought I'd be hosting an actual radio show considering I had a stage fright as a kid. So para sa'yo ko, lahat gagawin ko, diba? Anyway, Kurvie, ikaw, how's your journey naman?
Ayan, so in the contrary, papasimula pa lang yung journey ko sa COA. So in the past 2 years, siguro masasabi ko I can summarize it in one word, budol. Pero budol in the good way. Kasi, nabudol ako into the org. So, yun yung first budol. And second, nabudol ako into a project. Tapos, nag-apply ako as creatives, pero napunta ako sa program. So, di ba, ang layo ng difference. Tapos, after nun, may nag-PM sa akin, like, after the year, Uy, Kurvie, gusto mo ba maging AVP? Parang may opening ng position kasi it's a relatively new office, ganun. So sabi ko naman, okay, sige, ikaw naman nagbudol sa akin into the organization. Edi why not into an office, di ba? So edi 3 beses na ako nabudol. Tapos yung fourth, sabi, uy, Kurvie, G ka ba maging director? So ako naman, okay, sige, G naman. So nabudol na naman ako into directing the show. So technically, ang pangit kasi ng word na nabudol, pero pagandahin na lang natin. COA-M has pushed me out of my comfort zone. Yan. So parang from being this nakatagong creatives guy into a more outgoing and explorative word ba yun? Pero yun, naging more nag-explore ako in COA-M, and I'm really grateful na I took this opportunity to really explore the organization. And ayun nga, like you, mas napamahal ako sa organization. So, let's go into our naman ngayon, sa mga CB members natin. So, how about you guys? How has your journey been so far? And ayun nga, what made you decide to join CB in the first place? Siguro, let's start with Jubelle, then Kichee, then let's end it with Aki.
Okay, siguro yung journey ko sa COA-M, I would say it's very parang ano bang word? Siguro insightful and motivating kasi you get to interact with a lot of student leaders Marami sa kanila very passionate sa gusto nilang mangyari sa mundo. Hindi lang sa mismong organization nila, pero as in, mundo talaga, sis. So, parang nakaka-motivate na, oo nga, no, parang I can do something about my potentials. I can do something about with what I can do, like, for example, academics, ganyan. I would say na kaya ako rin pinursue kasi yun nga, nakaka-inspire talaga siya if you encountered yung COA-Con, if you have encountered the different meetings with the different student leaders. Mapapatayo ka talaga and mapapaisip ka, parang gusto kong mag-amplify ng voice ng youth. Yun. Pero seryoso yun. Kasi sila talaga, they want to speak about the truth and they want to educate a lot of people. Gusto nilang ma-maximize yung university education nila. And they want na, as much as possible, a lot of people can hear their voices. Another thing that really pushed me to pursue is because I want to revitalize ADC. Revitalize my Raika girl! So, gusto kong i-revitalize the ADC kasi very promising yung core competencies niya, yung visions niya, and let's not forget yung 8 ADC orgs. They're very, yun nga, as I said, they're very intelligent and they're very passionate. Plus, we have one of the same goal, and it would be best if we unite and reconstruct ourselves and brainstorm on ways on how we can be more impactful sa world. Yun lang po.
Grabe, ang ganda nun. Ako ba? Siguro if I were to describe yung COA-M journey ko, it would be, one of growth talaga. So, I was in COA ever since freshman year. Tapos specifically sa Chief of Staff X team talaga ako ever since first year. So, ayun, na-mention ko na nung high school ako, parang sumasabak din ako sa co-curricular activities. Pero iba yung tama yung sinabi ni Jubelle na sobrang insightful nga. Yung mga things yung mga skills na akala ko parang meron na ako ganun. Sobrang parang nakita ko na hindi pa ito yung parang peak of what you can do. And ayun, the thing that I love the most about COA is I really get to meet people who are extremely passionate about their advocacies. And nakikita mo talaga na what they want to do is to champion their advocacies and to serve their constituents. And it's something na this is what I always say about COA, na parang because you're in that environment wherein people are so passionate, sobrang pure yung passion nila for their advocacies, it also pushes you talaga to try to be more, try to do more. And siguro I think that's one of the main reasons why I decided to parang I tried to think na siguro yung mga skills na meron ako, siguro mas I could help other people more. I could also serve other people and champion the advocacies that I also personally have. And I think that I could best do it by being a central board officer of COA. So, yun naman yung sa akin.
Yeah. So, for me naman, I would describe it as wild. Ang wild talaga ng journey ko. As in, napapasenti talaga ako. You guys really got me with this question. But, really, kasi diba, I've been in COA since I was a freshie. Nag-cost din ako first 3 years of my college life, kaya naging ex-team ko si Kichee for 2 years, no. Ang cute, na-meet ko si Kichee when she was a freshie. So, so yun, I actually, nung freshie ako, I actually joined F&M in Finance and Marketing. Shout out kay Nixon and lahat ng mga FO dati. But, ayun, I don't know, through my other orgs kasi, I ended up realizing I really like talking to people. I really like connecting with people. Yung mga front end, kumbaga, when you talk about it in business terms. But I really like talking to people, no? I really love communicating. And that's why I went to Chief of Staff X team. And then, that's really where I learned na, I think that's when I first started to learn how to innovate and how to push for better things, no? Because especially when it's internals, no? I think a lot of HR officers and HR people can relate na when it comes to handling members, there's always that, diba, you always wrestle with that thought na parang we can always do more. Because circumstances change all the time, not just during this pandemic, but even before. And ayun, my cause at the time, si May, shout out sa kanya if she's watching. And then ayun, she pushed me to diba, be her technically yung AVP niya nung wala pa kaming mga AVP dati. And that really just grew my passion even more. So naging chief of staff ako. That's when I first ran for central board, and grabe, that was such a ride. Naka-inspire yung mga co-CB officers ko at the time, and I'd say that's really the year where I grew so much, as in I learned so much. Sana yung mga co-CB officers ko dito the same, because really when you join COA-CB, ibang experience talaga siya. Like I don't think you can see and experience something like that anywhere else. And I don't know, that passion really just grew, as Kichee and Jubelle mentioned, no? We experienced the same things and we saw the same kinds of passion na not only was it our internal passion na parang we want to help other people, but naka-inspire talaga to serve and work alongside other people who have the same drive as you and have the same drive to do better things for the community, for the country even. So, I love you, COA.
Grabe, sobrang inspiring na stories na. So, ayan na, Kurvie, baka na-inspire ka at gusto mo na for next year. Anyway, now that we've settled our Santi stories, let's slowly ease into our fun side and squeeze out our creative juices through this question that Kurvie suggested last night. So, guys, important question pa. Ayan. Kung i-compare mo ang prutas sa COA-M, ano iyon at bakit? So, Kurvie and I will start, and remember, guys, to keep it Jesuit friendly. Nako. Okay, Kurvie, go!
Ako, rambutan. Kasi it might look daunting sa labas kasi, di ba, it handles all the 56 organizations. Pero once you take the risk and once you jump into it, you'll see this sweet inside na very opportunity filled. Yeah. Ikaw naman, Thea.
For me, I think COA-M would be a strawberry. Because you know how each strawberry has so many seeds and it's unique because it's outside of the fruit. Well, I think COA is as unique as that, since, you know, outside of the fruit itself, every single one of our orgs serve as our seeds that can grow into more fruits. Anyway, kayo naman ulit. If COA was a fruit, what would it be and why? So let's start naman with Kichee this time, followed by Jubelle and then Aki.
Grabe, di ako magaling dito. Mansanas, kasi COA is the apple of my eye. Charot! Wait, ano ba talaga? I'd say an orange. Yeah, an orange. I'd like to think the council tries to peel away the layers of the members, of all our members and constituents, so that you can get to see yung inside, the potential, and ayun, how zesty people can be. So, ayun.
Ako, I would describe COA-M as a pomegranate. Pomegranate. And then, pero yun, kasi, okay, it looks, as Thea mentioned, it looks very unique talaga. It looks into different, the different sides of the different organizations. Another thing is, nakaka-fresh siya. Yes! Your own personal skin ka, hindi seryoso. You're going to work with a lot of people, and those people will always inspire you to become a better person. So I think COA-M would be a pomegranate.
So for me naman, hindi din ako makaling dito. But, naisip ko kasi what's the most exciting fruit? Yung naisip ko lang is pineapple. But anyway, sige, let's roll with that. Pero no, really, when I think of COA, I mean, not only is our logo colorful, no, but really just the nature of the job and the nature of the community is forever exciting. And, pineapple, kasi exciting din.
All right. So those are very creative answers from our dearest TV babe. So now, dahil patapos na tayo, let's have a short game of fast. Walang explanation, walang context, isang word lang. Kurvie and I have 3 questions for you guys, which you'll be answering in 1 word only. So to start, how would you describe COA-M? Let's go in this sequence na lang. Aki, Kichee, and Jubelle. Go.
Beautiful.
Holistic.
Hello.
Wow. Okay, so how do you feel about the work that you have accomplished last semester?
Inspired.
Wait. Kinaya.
Grateful.
Okay, last question. How do you feel about the coming semester in terms of work for COA-M and its constituents?
And excited.
Excited. Sorry.
I'm more than excited. I'm stoked.
Wow. So, it's nice to see na excited kayong lahat. Pero syempre, kailangan hindi lang tayo yung na-excite. Kailangan yung audience din. So, baka may gusto kayong i-plug dyan na ma-excite naman yung ating listeners today.
Ayan. Baka ako muna. Wala namang program or project. But then, shout out lang sa CV if I could name all 19 of you. Pero wala nang time yata. And also all 56 of the orgs and the presidents. I love you all.
Ayun. Ako rin, siguro for the coming semester, we have a lot of things in store for you guys, both yung internals and externals. So I hope you guys are as excited as we are. And ayun, shout out again sa CB. I love you all. As well as all of the X teams. So you guys have been doing such a wonderful job. We can't wait to get to know you guys more.
Ayan, siguro I would like to get this opportunity to promote our ADC month, which will happen on either February 2021 or on March 2021. Please do head on to facebook.com/analysis and discourse cluster to know more about ADC. And shout out to my X teams. Love you guys.
Ayan, grabe. Nakaka-excite naman talaga yung excited field na events nila. No? So, grabe. This has been the first episode for 2021. New year, new us. Sana maganda ang pasok ng taon for everyone and especially for our guests today. So thank you very much to the members of COA-M Central Board for joining us to check in at the midpoint of the school year and share some highlights of the first semester and their plans for the upcoming second sem.
Of course, thank you as well to our lovely audience for always tuning in to our episodes. So catch us again next week for another episode of Kwentuhang MVP, and Happy New Year once again to everyone.
So this has been your tall, dark, and konti na lang handsome frustrated coding cutie ng QC, Kurvie Apolinar of 2BSMIS.
And you're ready nang magpakilig, pabebe girl ng Taguig, Thea Jimenez from 4 AB Management Economics, signing off. Bye guys!
Bye guys!